Hi there, and welcome to Fuzzy on the Details. My name is Fuzzy, and today we're going to be continuing our coverage of the forthcoming Secret Wars book, collecting all of the information we know about it thus far, and also taking some time to spotlight the artists and authors who are working on this book right now. Back in October at a New York City Comic-Con event, Marvel announced that the next Marvel Multiverse hardcover would be called Secret Wars, and that it would be an expansion, not an adventure. While we didn't get any official news for a while after that, during the last week we've gotten an official press release from Marvel as well as an Amazon listing which shares some more information. You can get all the info straight from marvel.com/RPG, but because this was shared as a press release, industry outlets like ICV2 are covering the news as well. So, let's get into those details. Here's what we know. Not surprising, we will be getting some new character profiles. Now, previous expansions have had between 70 and 100 profiles, so we can probably expect somewhere in that neighborhood. Also, not surprising, there will be a focus on locations, which will include maps. Maps like this one were important even in the comics, so the maps we get in this expansion might be bigger in scale than we've seen in the expansions that came before, focusing on regions rather than a headquarters or an individual vehicle. The book will also feature other Marvel cosmic forces and artifacts. Cosmic forces could be anything from entities like Galactus, Eternity, Death, or even the Watcher, and artifacts could be things like the Ultimate Nullifier. What do you guys think? And a lot of folks like myself have been intrigued by this inclusion, the idea of an adventuring framework to fight your way through Battleworld. This sounds like more than just narrator advice, so I'll be very interested in seeing what this turns out to be. And we've also got some mentions of specific locations from Battleworld that they'll be diving into. With over 40 regions in Battleworld, they could spend a huge chunk of the book delving into this. I imagine some of the regions will get a deeper treatment than others. The press release then goes on to identify other areas the book will explore, like the Fantastic Four. I'm guessing this will include things like a separate profile for the Maker and classic Fantastic Four villains that we haven't seen in print yet. Maybe more of Reed's inventions, maybe some rules for unstable molecules, things like that. The mention of the Negative Zone suggests perhaps an Annihilus or a Blastar profile, and maybe even Mar-Vell, since he had a connection to the Negative Zone in the comics. There have been many different incarnations of the Guardians of the Galaxy. In fact, we've got the whole 31st Century team, which is not represented in this game. Plenty of spaceships like the Milano we could get further details on, and headquarters like Nowhere. And, I hope, some rules on space combat. Honestly, getting some more space-related stuff has got me just about as psyched as anything else. Next, we've got this section on the vast Marvel cosmos and its cosmic forces. Any talk about the cosmos brings to mind the destruction of the 7th cosmos at the end of the 2015 Secret Wars event in the comics, and the later creation of the 8th cosmos, which was more like a continuation than a creation from scratch. So any characters or entities that had anything to do with that are sure to get written about. So the Molecule Man, Franklin Richards, the Beyonders, and any discussion of the first cosmos would include the Aspirants and Celestials. There's so many different powerful entities that we could really dig into in this book. And kind of as a segue, we're going to get the Rank X rules. There are so many additional Rank X profiles we could see. I've dropped a bunch of those names already, and there's a whole bunch of them that you can see on the page right now. Can you think of anyone that hasn't been mentioned yet or is not on the page here that could be a Rank X? I was thinking about something like a Shumagorath or even a Dracula, but since we've got Odin sitting at rank 6, it's hard to think of too many more non-celestial or non-cosmic characters that could really fit that bill. Another piece of news we learned is that the book will have not one but 2 covers. The one you see here on the left is what's available right now for pre-order on Amazon for $49.99 with the release date of August 18th, and the one on the right here is a Gen Con exclusive. With Gen Con starting July 30th, you can pick the book up at Gen Con and get it nearly 3 weeks before anyone else. Now, this is not official in any way, so take this with a grain of salt or an entire salt lick, but last year they had an amazing deal for people who purchased the book at Gen Con. It included 1 year of Marvel Unlimited, plus the Demiplane and Roll20 versions of the game for free, as well as a limited edition Gen Con 25 pin. Now again, this is not official, but that's over $100 worth of free stuff for purchasing a book. Of course, no guarantee that they're going to do this again, so stay tuned and we'll let you know one way or the other. You know, it's also worth pointing out that the price of the expansion remains $49.99. I have seen the cost of a lot of other RPG books rise in the last couple of years because of tariffs or the threat of tariffs, but Marvel has kept that price point stable. And last but definitely not least, let's shine a spotlight on some of the creative team mentioned in the press release. Matt Forbeck, of course, is back. Based on previous expansions, it is likely that he'll tackle the whole rules section of the book, as well as the introduction and maybe the first or second primary lore sections, and possibly some other sections of the book as well. If Alex Irvine's name sounds familiar, it's because he contributed 2 chapters of the Avengers expansion. Marty Forbeck, of course, will likely be tackling all of the character profiles once again, but he's also written or co-written plenty of other chapters in the past expansions, like the Exiles chapter in X-Men and the Multiversal Avengers chapter in the Avengers expansion. So, odds are he'll be doing more than just profiles again. And Marvel's Merry Mapmaker is back. Brian Patterson is once again handling their cartography, as he has done for every expansion to date. Rory Coleman's name should be familiar to you as well if you're a fan of the game. Rory, like Brian, is such an important part of these books. He contributes most of the full-page art at the beginning of each chapter. Now, in the past, he's had some help with coloring and sometimes inking. Not sure if the absence of other names here it means he's doing the coloring as well, or it could just be that the art hasn't even been colored yet, so we don't have a name to credit. In any event, I will be sure to highlight any artists that may have been left out in future videos because inkers and colorists all too often get overlooked in my opinion, and they deserve their share of the spotlight. The cover art for the commercially available cover has 2 new names associated with it, Sean Isaacs with Eric Arciniega on colors. Welcome to the family, boys! And finally, the Gen Con exclusive cover is by Francesco Mana and Jesus Obertoff. These guys teamed up for the X-Men cover, which has been my favorite cover to date, and this one is right up there with it. I love the composition of this piece, the way Doom looms large in the middle, and the Multiverse logo up top is framed by Johnny's fire on one side and Thor's lightning on the other. It's just stunning in my mind. As usual, I will include links for all of these extremely talented folks in the description, so you guys can go and show them some love. If any of them happen to be watching this, on behalf of myself and the entire Marvel Multiverse community, thank you so much for your contributions to this fantastic game. It is a crazy world out there now more than ever, and the ability to just lose yourself in an immersive game and have fun with the characters that, for me, I've loved for 40 years, it just can't be overstated. Thank you so much. And thank you, listeners, for all that you do to support this channel. And congratulations to Action Dice TTG, who just hit 500 subscribers. That is a huge milestone for any YouTube channel. It's really the point where YouTube starts to pay attention to you as a channel, and you start getting access to more tools and opportunities that finally unlock at 1,000 subscribers. So it's a really big deal. Go give them a pat on the back for me, yeah? There's lots more fun stuff on the horizon, including my first YouTube live stream. Really? Well, stay tuned to find out. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.